onwards to the king of Arena, which is Paladin. What are they getting this time? First off, we have Sound the Bells. For 2 mana, you get an Echo spell. Give a minion +1/+2. So you can replay this as many times as you want. So in a sense, this can be a 10 mana. Give a minion +5/+10. I am going to tell you why this card is insane. Because it does not say 10 mana, give a minion +5/+10. It says, give minions +1/+2. Split however you want. That's ridiculous. That's actually ridiculous. The fact that you can split however you want makes this insane. Okay, sure, if you play this on turn 4, it's not as good, right? You can have Blessing of Kings instead. If you play this on turn 6, well, 6 mana +3/+6 is actually probably the best deal. But the versatility of this card, right? And it has Echo. So you can play it on turn 2 if you really need to kill something, like a Knife Juggler or something, right? Like, that's completely fine. So this, I have to say, is 4 stars. Very strong. Very, very strong. 4-star spell. Rebuke, on the other hand, is a 2 mana Paladin spell that enemy spells cost 5 more next turn. You don't even know if your opponent's going to be playing spells, right? Obviously, the point of playing this deck is you make a big board, and then you play Rebuke, and your opponent can't Flame Strike it or anything, but god damn it, they can still MC Tag, they can still Primordial Drake, they can still Weapon. This card is stone cold 0 stars. It actually does nothing. Right? It's 2 mana, lose a card, spend 2 mana. No, I don't want this. Terrible. We have Ghostly Charger at 5 mana. It's a 3/4 Divine Shield minion with Rush. So you can attack minions immediately. Very, very strong because, well, it reminds me of Argent Commander, right? Argent Commander can't go face. But if you play a 5 mana 3/4 Divine Shield, it's already like a Psychotron. So it doesn't have taunt, right? But this is Rush. It can kill something immediately, which is really, really good. So I think Ghostly Charger is great. I think it's a nice card. It's a charge card. And I don't think it's like 4-star material. I think this is fine. It just kills off something and makes a 3/4, right? Like a 3/4 that deals 3 damage is kind of like a Phoenix. And Phoenix is really good. Alright, you know what? If I put it that way, it's actually really good. Okay, I'll give it 4 stars. Very strong card. Paragon of Light is a 3 mana 2/5 with... While this minion has 3 or more attack, as Taunt and Lifesteal. So Taunt and Lifesteal doesn't really, you know, it doesn't add too much to it. Like, the 2 keywords are not really that good. It's not like Divine Shield or, you know, Death Rattle effect or anything. It doesn't really add any combat power, right? But what it does stabilize you against very aggro decks. And your opponent kind of has to kill it when this is on the board because, well, it literally is going to have taunt. So I think this is fine. At 3 mana 2/5 is nothing too exciting. But if you can turn this on, like, if you can turn it on with, like, I don't know, like one of the buff mechanics, or you can turn this on with, like, Bone Mare or Scalebane, or even a buff card, like a Blessing, then this could get pretty sweet. So I think this is fine. I'll give this 3 stars. Bell Ringer Sentry. 4 mana 3/4 with Battlecry and Death Rattle. You put a secret from your deck into the battlefield, so you actually automatically do it. Now, Bellswing Sentry is kind of not at its best in Arena because you have to actually draft secrets, and the secrets to draft are actually not that good, right? The good secrets are kind of rotating out. I mean, they're not really here anymore, so it's not really going to be that good. And the second copy is going to be pretty bad because, well, you're not going to have 4 secrets, right? So, yeah, in Arena, it's not going to be that good. I think this is just 2 stars. Like, it's still a 4 mana 3/4, which is fine. And a 4 mana 3/4 that puts a secret onto the battlefield is fine. So, yeah, I think you would draft this if you have 2 secrets. But I'm going to basically stop at that. Next up, we have Silver Sword. 8 mana 3/4 weapon. After your hero attacks, give your minion +1/+1. How can this not be ridiculous? This is actually ridiculous, right? 8 mana 3/4 weapon is like the same as an Assassin's Blade. You pay 3 more mana for this effect. Now, what's so good about this is that you can actually use the effect immediately as well. So say you have a board, you play Silver Sword, you attack with everything with +1/+1. Alternatively, you can also play minions first and then attack with this, and then they get +1/+1. So there's just, this card is just so much value in one card. I think it's just really insane. The main drawback of this is that it's an 8 mana weapon. So if this gets destroyed by like an ooze, or if you have more weapons like Vine Cleaver, for example, then this gets a little bit worse. But I'll be very happy with the first copy of Silver Sword in pretty much every single one of my arena decks. So I'm gonna give this 4 stars. Hidden Wisdom is a 1-mana Paladin secret that says after your opponent plays 3 cards in a turn, you draw 2 cards. This is very hard to proc. I'm pretty sure this is going to be insanely hard to proc. In Arena, you're going to try and curve out. You're going to play 5 drop at 5, 7 drop at 7, and so on. It's really hard to get your opponent to play even 2 cards in a turn, right? 2 cards pretty... Like if they have a 3 drop, 4 drop, turn 7, that's fine. But 3 cards is really asking a lot. And what's the benefit of this? The benefit of this is draw 2 cards. So I don't think the benefit is going to be... It is that big. And if your opponent never does this, you just played 1 mana, do nothing. So I'm going to give Hidden Wisdom a 1 star. I think this is going to be pretty bad. Oh, interesting. Okay. Chat actually came up with a very good point. Echo. So Hidden Wisdom actually might activate off from Echo, right? Echo, there's going to be a lot of cards of Echo now. So 3 Echo cards in the turn is not out of the ordinary for sure. But at the end of the day, you still have to wait till your opponent plays this, and that doesn't really change my rating. I think this card is still garbage, so I'm still gonna give this 1 star. But that is interesting. That is interesting to know. Alright, Cathedral Gargoyle is the new 2-mana 2/2. Paladin, if you're holding a dragon, you gain Taunt and Divine Shield. There are a lot of dragons. Like Primordial Dragon's still in the game, Scalebane is still in the game. There's a few new neutral dragons that are in the game as well. So I feel like this is going to be okay. It's 2-mana 2/2. What do you want? 2-mana 2/2s are always playable, and this has a little upside if you have a dragon. So I'm going to just give this 2 stars, and if you have a dragon, then it gets a little better, But still, base 2 stars. Alright, almost to the Legendaries. We have the Glass Knight for Paladin. For 4 mana, you get 4/3. Divine Shield, very nice. 4 mana, 4/3 Divine Shield is already really above the curve, right? It's like a Silver Moon Guardian, but better. And then whenever you restore health, you gain Divine Shield. That is ridiculous. Like, this card is really, really good. I think it's going to be 4 stars. Like, 4 mana, 4/3 Divine Shield is so hard to deal with already. That's like an old Argent Commander. And the fact that it can actually regrow the Divine Shield, really good. So I'm going to give this 4 stars. Very, very strong Legendary here. And then finally, we have Prince Liam. For 5 mana, you get a 5/5, which is really good, right? And then Battle Cry. Transform all 1-cost cards in your deck into legendary minions. Note that this says cards, so it doesn't only include your minions, it includes all your secrets, it includes all your Light's Justice, I guess. But yeah, Prince Liam is just fine, right? It's just handy dandy. Honestly, if he only transforms like 1 or 2 cards or even 0 cards, he'll be playable because he's a 5 mana 5/5. And the fact that it does transform your 1-cost cards that are in your deck that you didn't draw in the early game, and it gets better in the late game, means that this is actually a little bit above the curve. So I'm going to give this 4 stars. I think this is fine. And if you don't see any good 1-drops, you don't need to be very unhappy with this. This is a 5 mana 5/5. What do you want? This is fine. On to my favorite class, the Priest. Let's see what we have. The first one is Squashling. Holy shit, this card is insane. Squashling is a 2 mana 2/1. Battlecry restores 2 health. Alright, so 2 mana 2/1 restore 2 health. Yes, Echo. Holy monkeys. This card is ridiculous. Alright? Oh my god. The fact that you can combine this with Alkanai, and the fact that you can actually heal another minion with this is actually just bonkers. This is easy 5 stars for me. Right? Oh my, this is just so much combo potential with this. Imagine if you have a Northshire Cleric out on the board, you get to draw a million cards as well. And if your opponent is smorking you down, you get to heal for 10. This is just absolutely amazing. What an amazing 2-drop. I think this is the best 2-drop I've ever seen. 5 stars. Next we have Divine Hymn. 2 mana, restore 6 health to all friendly characters. So of course the first thing that comes into mind is Holy Light is crying in the corner. Pepe Hands, anybody care about Holy Light? To look at this card though, 2 mana restore 6 health to all friendly characters is actually a significant upgrade over Holy Light, right? The fact that it actually affects all your minions means that you can trade off everything and then use Divine Hymn, and then if you have some healing synergy, then it's actually better. I don't want a lot of this, but this is, if you think of it as Binding Heal, and Binding Heal is playable in Arena, right? Because you don't want to get outsmarted. I think Divine Hymn is actually pretty good in that sense. So I'm gonna give this 3 stars for the first copy, and then the second copy is -1, right? You don't want a second copy ever, I don't think. You're playing too many cards that do nothing. So I think the first copy is fine. I never ever want a second copy. Quartz Elemental is elemental, right? Quartz Elemental. 5 mana, 5/8. Okay, so pretty big. What does it do? Well, it cannot attack while damaged. So that's actually a very awkward situation, right? Like, man, it reminds me of Silithid Swarmer from the neutral card, because your opponent is going to ping this, or your opponent is gonna chump this or whatever, right? And you have to use your hero power to heal this in order for it to attack. Also note that if you trade with this minion, which Priest tends to like to trade a lot, you also have to heal this back up before you get to attack with it again. So, oh my god, I think the upkeep cost of this is so much, and I don't think this is what you want to do in Arena, not even if you're Priest, right? Like, it's just, the upkeep is too bad. It just never attacks. So I don't think this is good. The only way I can see this being good is if you have any silence effects. So if you have like a Song Stealer, or if you have like a Spellbreaker or something like that, then it's a little more playable. But as it stands, I think it's really bad. So I'm gonna give this like a 2 stars, right? At least I can attack the first turn to play it, hopefully. But no, not too insane. But we have Holy Water in the next card. For 5 mana, deal 4 damage to a minion, and if that kills it, you get to steal it and add it to your hand. So 5 mana, deal 4 damage is very under the curve, right? But 5 mana, deal 4 damage, draw a card is pretty damn good. You can also use it on your own minions in a pinch. Say, your opponent didn't play anything and you want to replay a battle cry or something like that. That could be... I mean, I don't see that happening too often, but just keep in mind that it could. Yeah, and of course you can even get like 7 drops and 8 drops. You just need to damage the minion first and then use Holy Water at the end to kill it, right? I think Holy Water is great, and I think it would pretty much play it. You compare it to Holy Fire, it's kind of similar. Holy Fire heals yourself while this draws your card. So I'm gonna give this 3 stars. I think this is fine. I don't think you want to go overload with this, but yeah, 3 stars is fine. Coffin Crasher, 6 mana, 6/5 Death Rattle. Summon a Death Rattle minion from your hand. Holy jeez, this can create some major blowouts, right? It's kind of like Bone Drake, but instead of giving you a Death Rattle, you summon a Death Rattle minion from your hand. And if you're holding something like Obsidian Statue, Violet Worm, anything that has Sated Threshodon, like anything that has high Death Rattle synergy, your opponent just gonna die. This is like a better Karen in a sense, because it's 6 attack. So I think Coffin Crusher is really, really powerful. I'm gonna give this 4 stars. I think this is, I'm pretty high on this, because it's very aggressively statted, and your opponent doesn't really know if they want to trade for this or not. So I think this is great. We have Dragon, new Dragon for Priest, 7 mana, 4/9 Dragon. 4/9 is kind of a weird stat line. Whenever a friendly minion is healed, summon a 3/3 Whelp. Wow, that's a pretty big text, right? 7 mana, 9 health creatures don't usually tend to die a lot, and yeah, if you heal anything, right, that's a friendly minion. You can't heal your opponent's minions, right? Whenever you heal anything that's a friendly minion, you get 3/3, and then you can heal those 3/3s as well. I feel like this is gonna be fine. You don't want too many of these because it's a 7 mana, very expensive, and also doesn't have taunt or anything. But I think this is gonna be great. So I think the first one is really strong. I'll give this like 3 stars. I think this is first copy is definitely better than the other ones. Actually, you know what? I changed my mind. I give this 4 stars. I'll give this 4 stars. This is quite good. Your opponent kind of has to deal with it. It's very annoying. Yeah, I'll give this 4 stars. Change my mind. Vivat Nightmare. 3 mana, pre-spell. You choose a friendly minion, and then you copy it, but with 1 health remaining. So it's like a Faceless Manipulator, but you copy it with 1 health remaining. It can do some interesting stuff. If you put it on the charge minion, or whatever. If you put it on Death Rattle minion, that could be good. But yeah, overall, I think this is... I want to say this is bad. But if you play it on 5 mana, you can heal it back up a little bit, but it's still kind of bad. I feel like this is going to be okay. It's not insane. It's like a Mirage Caller, right? Where instead of a 1/1, you get its attack instead. Does synergize a little bit with Shadow Madness, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I don't think this is going to get there, I guess. I'm going to give this 2 stars. Potential, but under very specific circumstances. So probably a card I don't really want to take. Alright, the 2 priest legendaries are Camellias, the 1 mana 1/1 beast that each turn this is in your hand, transform it into a card your opponent is holding. I think this is actually good, right? If your opponent's cards are bad, then it doesn't matter because you're gonna win the game. If your opponent's cards are good, you get a good card. And it also has a little bit added value of scouting ahead, so your opponent, you actually know what your opponent is holding. And your opponent doesn't know that you know, that they know, that you know. So I think this is fine. We're gonna give this 4 stars. I think this is strong enough because, once again, if your opponent has a weak deck, you're gonna win anyways, right? It's that if your opponent has the busted cards, like if your opponent's holding a legendary or whatever, and this turns into a legendary, you can play it, then it's gonna be great. And then finally, the second one is Lady in White. For 6 mana, you get a 5/5. You cast Inner Fire on every minute in your deck when you play her. Very hard to make work in Arena, I guess, because you can't really pick and choose what cards you want. I think this is just going to be, yeah, once again, it depends on your draft, I guess. There's a lot of priest minions that have higher health than attack, so I think this is fine. 6 mana 5/5, while not really that good, it's also not really that bad, because 5/5 stat line is fine. So I think Lady in White is okay. I'm just going to give this like 3 stars. I think this is playable, but nothing to write home about. And yeah, priest card seems pretty good. Okay, onwards to Rogue. Rogue, we have Cheap Shot. 2 mana, deal 2 damage to a minion. Okay, great. Echo. That makes it even better. Alright, Cheap Shot is really good. I mean, come on. It just goes without saying that this card is really, really good. Not as good as the Hunter one. The Hunter Doge is a little bit better because you can always play them as minions. This one, you always have to deal damage to minions, but it really doesn't matter, right? Like, the fact that it can scale, and it can be like a 4 mana multi-shot, it can be a 10 mana deal 10 damage to a minion. It's kind of like better than Forbidden Flame. And Forbidden Flame was already really good, right? You spend all your mana to deal damage to a minion. This way you can split it as much as you want. So yeah, I'd say Cheap Shot's great. 4-star card. Very nice removal. Blank Fox. Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at that beauty. 3 mana 3/3 beast in Rogue. Battlecry, add a random card to your hand from your opponent's class. So it's a 3/3 that draws a card, which is utterly ridiculous already. And you draw a class card. How could this not be 5 stars? This is auto pick at Arena. Super strong. You get a class card, you still get a 3/3. You're not even paying any, you're not paying any cost to draw a card. This is ridiculous. You always draft this. Cutthroat Buccaneer is a 3 mana 2/4 pirate. Looks kind of like an undead, dude. What does it say? It says combo, give your weapon +1 attack. Now, they actually learned their lesson with Goblin Auto Barber. Goblin Auto Barber is a 2 mana 3/2. Battle Cry do the same thing, right? And it was a Battle Cry, which was ridiculous. This is a little bit more balanced than that. It has a pirate tag, which shouldn't mean too much in Arena. It do have the combo for you to get +1 attack from it, so I don't think this is going to be insanely good. Comboing a 3 mana 2/4 is going to be a little difficult, and the upside is, well, it's okay. It's not super significant. So I think this is just fine. I'm not going to be high on this. I'm going to give this 3 stars. Pickpocket. For 2 mana, you get another Echo Row card. What does it say? Well, you get to burgle your opponent's class for 1 card. Wow. This is actually insane, right? 2 mana draw a card. 4 mana IK Intellect. 6 mana Nourish. 8 mana Sprint. Obviously, you can think like, wow, you're paying 1 mana extra for all these effects. Well, guess what? Not only are you drawing class cards, which are better than neutral cards, you can also stop anytime you draw a good card, right? Say you pickpocket something that's like an 8-drop, like a really good 8-drop, like Tyrion. Then you don't need to continue doing this. You can just play the Tyrion. So, very, very strong. I think Pickpocket is just very, very nice. I will once again draft the first copy really, really easily. I think this is a 4-star card. Mist Rave is an Echo synergy card. For 4 mana, get a 3/5, and whenever you play an Echo card, you get +1/+1. I feel like this is just fine. 4 mana, 3/5, really, really good already. And if you're gonna play Echo cards, you're gonna play multiple of them. So this is gonna actually get bigger. Not just +1/+1 each turn, but maybe even +2/+2 this turn, or +3/+3. Mist Rave is great. I think this is gonna be just great, just awesome. I like this card already. Obviously better if you have Echo cards. So I'm just gonna give this, I'm gonna give this 3 stars. Because like at the end of the day, you do need Echo cards to play this. 4 mana 3/5 is not embarrassing though, but there gonna be some wacky stuff that you can do with this. Alright, what do we have next? 6 mana Cursed Castaway. You get a 5/3 pirate with rush, okay, so you can kill something, and Death Rattle, draw a combo card from your deck. So it's a Starfire, and Starfire is playable in Arena, right? 6 mana, deal 5 damage to something, you draw a combo card, and you're probably gonna have some combo cards. If you hit something that has less than 3 attack, then you get to keep the minion, which is really nice. So it's a fine card, nothing crazy, 3 stars. Spectral Cutlass. For 4 mana, you get a 2/2 lifesteal weapon. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. And whenever you play a card from another class, you gain +1 durability. Lifesteal weapons are always fine. You get to gain health every turn. And if you're playing on any of those new Burgle cards, then you can keep on healing for 2. So I think Spectral Cutlass is fine. You don't want too many of these. It's really expensive for just 2 attack, but I think this is fine. So 3 stars. Wanted is a 4 mana, deal 3 damage to a minion spell, and if that kills it, you get a coin to your hand. So it's effectively a 3 cost, deal 3 damage, but it's a little bit more weird than that, right? You basically get this coin, so you can play Wanted on turn 4, and you can actually play a 6-drop on turn 6. So it is a little versatile, which is nice, and it can also proc stuff like Questing Adventurer, it can proc stuff like Mana Addict, or just things that combos with cards being played, right? So I think this is just fine. I don't think this is insane, so I'm gonna give this 3 stars. I think this is fine. Yeah, it's a fine card. Alright, onwards to the legendaries. What do we have? The legendary for Rogue is another Echo card. Holy jeez. Rogues are getting all the Echo cards, man. For 3 mana, you get a 2/2 Face Collector, and Battlecry, add a random legendary minion to your hand. Wait, so you're telling me you can actually play 3 of these on turn 9, draw 3 legendaries, and have 3 2/2s on the board. That seems really good. Alright? But, I mean, the card kind of seems kind of spooky. I mean, he just collects faces, dude. Ah! Anyways, this card is great. I think you always draft this when you see this. 5-star card. This is actually a 5-star card. Because a 3 mana 2/2 draw card is already playable. And the fact that it scales, once again, makes this insane. So yeah, 5 stars. Finally, Test Greymane is an 8 mana 6/6 Battlecry minion. We play every card from another class you've played this game. This is ridiculous. This is actually ridiculous. Not only does it copy all your spells that you casted with other cards such as Holy Nova, or if you play like something like Flanking Strike, whatever, right? It also copies cards. So you can re-equip new weapons like Arcanite Reaper if you stole that. You can have more minions like King Crush if you stole that. You know? This is actually ridiculous. Obviously you need to have the other class cards for this to make work. But honestly, based on all the new cards, I don't think that's going to be a problem. If you generate cards from random effects as well, they also count. So if you somehow Bone Drake a Syndragosa and you play Syndragosa, that's actually going to work too. So you get another Syndragosa. And the Syndragosa also spawns 2/0/1s because you play them. Jesus Christ. I think this is actually 5 stars. This is actually the first time I've seen a class get 2 new legendaries that are actually 5 stars. So I think Rogue is going to be insane.